Today is the 19th day of August 2020. I'm at the Marsh Harbour International Airport, and this morning you should have seen how Bakers Bay snuck or tried to sneak their COVID-19 Mexicans that Dr. Livingston Marshall brought into the Bahamas without having their tests. And they got them hidden in the vehicles as they drive through. And it's amazing how Bakers Bay is working with the government. They already had the gate open at the airport, and they slipped right through onto the air ambulance into Nassau to get the best treatment they can get in Doctors Hospital. But the black workers on Bakers Bay, they didn't send no air ambulance. They didn't treat them like royalty, send them into Nassau at Doctors Hospital to get the best treatment. And you know, the driver that drove them in the Bakers Bay bus, he could also be carrying COVID-19 home to his family. They believe they're so smart and believe that Bakers Bay, once you're working for Bakers Bay, you are on your way to heaven. But that's not the case. You're just an Uncle Tom for Bakers Bay. The thing is, why is it so secretly? Everything about Bakers Bay is secret. Because Bakers Bay, the Prime Minister, and Brent Simonette are in bed together with the 25 million. The first deal that the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the most honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, did, I want to let the world know that he's dirty. There's no honor in my Prime Minister when he sit at the table as leader of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and edge a deal, self-dealt themselves a contract of 25 million that they almost shut Albury's Ferry down. And to date, 9 o'clock, the red and white air ambulance King Air came from Nassau. I don't know how many persons that Bakers Bay snuck onto the plane because they tried to hide everything away from camera. This is one of those cases that I couldn't get that shot, but I can tell you that at 9 o'clock this morning, there were several Mexicans snuck onto a plane heading to Nassau into Doctors Hospital. How are we going to do contact tracing if the government is not trying to do contact tracing in Bakers Bay? Shouldn't the guy that drove them on the boat be quarantined? Because surely the wind is coming in his face in an open boat with COVID-19. How are you going to stop from getting it? Then the driver, bring him to the airport, all conditioned down, so the air-conditioned vent is stirring air condition back into his face. He believes he's so smart. But this is how the escalation have started in Abaco. There was not one single case of COVID-19 in Abaco before it was announced that COVID-19 is in Bakers Bay, not Guanakee, Bakers Bay, the private resort that the government to date would not say Bakers Bay. How could that be? How could a resort owner have the Prime Minister and the incompetent authority lock, barrel, and sink into their pocket that they cannot even call the name Bakers Bay? But this morning at 9 o'clock, right at this airport, Bakers Bay bus came right down this road, and the plane hid behind the customs building there at 9 o'clock this morning as they brought them all the way down here and sneaked them onto the airport, onto the tarmac right there at the Leonard Thompson International Airport. Why is the government haven't shut Bakers Bay down yet? Why? Is question. Does Darren Henfield, the man that said he knew nothing about the Mexicans coming into Bakers Bay, lied in the church? He knew. He know now. Why isn't Bakers Bay shut down to date? The Mexicans are being flown out, but the Negro workers, if they get COVID-19, Bakers Bay said, you all go home and deal with it yourself. Don't come back on the key. So in essence, they will never be able to get a job back on Bakers Bay. But the Mexicans are being treated like first-class citizens. But the blacks, the black Negroes, are sent home without any treatment. If you're dead, you're gone. Good. That is what Bakers Bay thinks about the black Bahamian. And that is what Dr. Livingston Marshall thinks about Bahamians, because he said that we were not worthy of walking in the Mexican shoe in the Bahamas. This is the words of Dr. Livingston Marshall. We cannot work like the Mexicans. Well now, we cannot even be treated fairly when the blacks get COVID-19, just like the first person in Sandy Point. He was left to go to Sandy Point and to deal with it. They couldn't even get the doctor or the nurse to come to Sandy Point to deal with them when they wanted the rest of the family to be tested. The government of the Bahamas, this F&M government, refused to have them treated. Then today, I'm still working on this story, this is a big story, that a policeman would come to somebody in Sandy Point's home this morning and said that he has ordered for him to stay locked in his house for 1 month. 1 month? Why, the fellow want to know, why am I supposed to be locked in my house? The police said, if you come outside your yard, you lock up. Well, who gave the police authorization to go to somebody's house in Sandy Point who has not been tested positive for COVID-19 and to lock him down for 1 month? I'm still trying to get this police name to see if he's a doctor, an Indian, or some chief of over somebody's life, that he can order them locked down when 14 days, if you got it, you only locked down for 14 days. But this police, playing God over people's lives, said that this young man is supposed to be locked down, him and his family, for 1 month. Who's gonna go get the grocery? Who's gonna go get the necessary things for them to be locked down? Just like the Prime Minister, he locked him down from last night. Can't go out. This is unacceptable. This is the kind of treatment that we are receiving in Abaco. Right now, as I speak, there's a young lady. Morning.
You doing something on the weather?
Pardon me?
You do something on the weather?
I had to stop there. That's the police. They want to know why I here. They're always checking on me. Want to know why I here. If I doing the weather. I doing the weather, right? As I was talking about these policemen, that's the chief of police going there, Wendell Smith. I should have asked him who authorized this man in Sandy Point, this police in Sandy Point, to lock somebody down for a month. This is where the military policing come in, police acting like military, to go to somebody's house and lock them down for a month. Who gives them that type of authority? But right at Cherokee Air this morning, I felt so sorry for the lady. She has an appointment to get chemo in Nassau. She had 2 of her breasts cut off. She is doing chemo. She cannot get Nassau. There was a plane available. The fellow said, I can't take you because he's flying to Navajo. He took one girl on the plane that works for air traffic. He said he could take her because she a part of them. She works for air traffic controller, although she's from Abaco. But this woman has a medical emergency. She missed her date yesterday. There is a plane available, and she can't get no answer to get in Nassau. So eventually she will die if she don't get it. I said, look here, y'all vote for Darren Henfield. You're talking to me about it. You need to call the minister while this plane is on the ground. Your life is in jeopardy. That's the beauty of having Kai Mills on the ground. As your member of parliament, I would make the call and she would have been out of here. But she got to call Darren and he pick up if he feel like. But Kai is everywhere like Risa. I would have made sure as the minister and your MP that you weren't going to die in Abaco because you can't get to Nassau to have your chemo treatment. After losing 2 breasts, you're losing the battle of life because Darren Henfield and this weightless, no good FNM government don't care. Vote for Kai. Kai ain't gonna be shy about helping you. And you can call me and I'll be there in a hurry. Vote for Kai and don't be shy. You're live with Kai as the Mexicans is getting treated like royalty and the black Negroes of Bakers Bay are being sent home to die slowly. You're live with Kai on WCAY.